The 1970s brought unforgettable trends, timeless music, and moments that shaped a generation. From wood-paneled station wagons to disco nights, this era had a charm like no other. In this video, we'll revisit the gadgets, places, and trends that defined the decade. Whether you lived it or are simply curious, get ready for a nostalgic trip back to the vibrant 70s. In the 1970s, Pong wasn't just a game, it was a revolution. As one of the first video games ever created, Pong brought the arcade experience to life in the simplest yet most captivating way. 2 paddles, a bouncing ball, and a race to score points. It didn't need flashy graphics to keep players hooked. Whether you played it at home on an Atari console or in a dimly lit arcade, Pong was a phenomenon that sparked the gaming industry as we know it today. It was more than a game. It was the beginning of a new way to have fun.
The pet rock, introduced in 1970.
It's hard to imagine now, but in the 70s, pet rocks were a national obsession. For just a few dollars, you could own the most low-maintenance pet imaginable. Literally a rock, complete with its own cardboard house and a hilarious instruction manual. People gave them names, told jokes about them, and gifted them to friends as a quirky trend. The simplicity of it all was part of the charm. Looking back, it's a perfect example of how the 70s embraced fun and silliness, even in the smallest things. Who knew a rock could spark so much joy? Rock concerts in the 1970s were the ultimate communal experience. Whether it was Led Zeppelin, the Rolling Stones, or Fleetwood Mac, these events weren't just about the music. They were about the energy, the freedom, and the connection. Fans packed into massive arenas or outdoor festivals, holding up lighters during ballads, singing every lyric like an anthem. It wasn't just a concert. It was a celebration of rebellion, youth, and identity. And even if you didn't have the best seats, you felt like you were part of something monumental. The roar of the crowd, the sound of live instruments, it was pure magic.
This is Casey Kasem in Hollywood, and we're counting down the 100 top songs of the past.
Every week, Casey Kasem's voice filled living rooms and car radios across America as he brought us the Top 40 countdown. His warm, iconic voice wasn't just announcing songs, it was creating memories. Whether you were sitting in your bedroom with a cassette recorder ready to capture your favorite tune, or cruising down the highway with the windows down, Casey made sure you knew the biggest hits of the week. He didn't just play music. He shared stories behind the songs and the artists, making every countdown feel personal. For many, his show was the soundtrack to weekends and a reminder of how music connected us all. Record players and vinyl records were the heartbeat of the 1970s. The warm crackle of a needle dropping onto a spinning disc was pure magic. Whether it was Fleetwood Mac's Rumors or the Beatles' greatest hits, every record told its own story. Browsing shelves of vinyl at a local store, carefully selecting the perfect album, and hearing that rich, authentic sound at home wasn't just about music, it was about connection. Roller skating in the 1970s wasn't just an activity, it was a lifestyle. Skating rinks were packed with kids and teens showing off their moves to disco hits, while colorful lights spun across the floor. Outside, people cruised the sidewalks and parks on classic 4-wheeled skates with bell-bottom jeans and big smiles. It was the perfect mix of fun, exercise, and socializing. Whether you were trying to master a spin or just gliding along with friends, roller skating captured the carefree spirit of the decade. For kids in the 70s, Saturday mornings were sacred. You'd wake up early, grab a bowl of cereal, and settle in front of the TV for hours of animated magic. Shows like Scooby-Doo, The Flintstones, and Super Friends were must-watch favorites. It was the only time of the week when the TV was all yours, and every cartoon felt like a small adventure. The best part? No streaming, no rewinds. If you missed it, you'd have to wait a whole week. It was a ritual that united a generation and left memories as colorful as the cartoons themselves. Few things were as nostalgic as a night at the drive-in. Families and friends would load up their cars, grab some popcorn, and park under the stars to watch the latest blockbuster on a giant outdoor screen. It wasn't just about the movie, it was the experience. Kids sat on the hood of the car, couples cuddled under blankets, and the sound came through those little speakers you hooked onto your window. The drive-in had a magic that no modern cinema could replicate, blending entertainment with the charm of being outdoors. If there's one fashion trend that defined the 70s, it's bell-bottom jeans. These wide-legged wonders were a staple in every wardrobe, from casual outings to disco nights. Paired with platform shoes or a colorful shirt, they were a way to stand out and make a statement. They weren't just pants, they were an attitude. Whether you were strutting down the street or hitting the dance floor, bell-bottoms brought confidence, style, and a whole lot of flair. And who could forget the satisfying swish they made when you walked?
Here comes your present. There you are.
In a world before selfies and instant uploads, Polaroid cameras were pure magic. You'd snap a picture, wait a minute, and watch as the image slowly appeared on the film in your hand. They turned every moment into a keepsake, whether it was a birthday, a road trip, or just a random day with friends. Polaroids weren't about perfection. They were about capturing the feeling of the moment. And that white border around the photo? It made every snapshot feel like its own little piece of history. For many families, the station wagon with wood paneling was the quintessential vehicle of the 70s. It wasn't just a car, it was a mobile family room. These roomy wood-paneled wonders were perfect for family road trips, long weekends at the lake, or just running errands. The wood paneling wasn't just a design, it was a symbol of suburban life and American road trips. The station wagon was practical, reliable, and in its own way, cool. For anyone who grew up in the 70s, the sight of a station wagon immediately brings back memories of family adventures and lazy summer days. The disco era wasn't just about the music, it was about the moves. Under the shimmering glow of a disco ball, people filled dance floors to show off their best spins, steps, and grooves. And then came the bump, a simple but wildly fun dance where you'd bump hips with a partner in time with the beat. It was carefree, silly, and completely addictive. Disco wasn't just a trend, it was an escape, a way to let loose and embrace the rhythm of the 70s. The energy, the lights, the music, it was pure joy.
Presenting, gee, your hair smells terrific.
In the 1970s, there was one shampoo that stood out not just for how it made your hair look, but for how it made it smell. Gee, your hair smells terrific. With a name as unforgettable as its scent, this shampoo became a sensation for its unique, floral fragrance that seemed to linger all day. It wasn't just about hair care, it was about making an impression. People genuinely noticed and complimented the scent, which became a conversation starter and a confidence boost. For anyone who used it, that iconic bottle and its unforgettable aroma are tied to memories of carefree days and a time when the little things brought a lot of joy. Lava lamps were more than just home decor. They were a mesmerizing symbol of the 70s. With their slow-moving, colorful blobs floating up and down in liquid, they brought a sense of calm and wonder to any room. People loved to turn them on and just stare, especially during late-night conversations or while listening to their favorite records. It wasn't just a lamp, it was an experience, adding a touch of groovy, psychedelic vibes to homes everywhere. School lunchboxes in the 70s weren't just about carrying your sandwich, they were a way to show off your favorite TV shows and characters. From Star Wars to the Partridge Family, lunchboxes featured colorful images of the most popular TV and movie characters. These lunchboxes were more than just a container. They were a piece of culture, a way to take a little bit of your favorite show with you wherever you went. They were a fun, functional, and fashionable part of school life, and everyone knew whose lunchbox was whose by the characters on the side.
Came the Brady Bunch, the Brady Bunch.
The Brady Bunch and Happy Days weren't just TV shows. They were the essence of family life and friendship in the 70s. The Bradys gave us a perfect image of an all-American family, while Happy Days captured the fun and excitement of growing up in the 50s and 60s, even though it aired in the 70s. Watching these shows wasn't just about the storylines. It was about the sense of comfort and familiarity. The catchy theme songs, the familiar faces, and the sense of togetherness made them the perfect escape from everyday life, and they still evoke feelings of nostalgia today. Before we had playlists or even cassettes, there were 8-track tapes. These chunky cartridges were a must-have for music lovers in the 70s, especially in cars. Sliding one into the stereo and hearing that satisfying click meant you were ready for a road trip soundtrack. Sure, they were far from perfect. Sometimes the music would awkwardly pause to switch tracks, but they brought the magic of albums into your daily life. From classic rock to disco, 8-tracks were how we jammed out and shared music with friends. They were imperfect, but they were ours. Tie-dye clothing wasn't just a fashion statement, it was a symbol of creativity and individuality. Whether you bought a pre-made shirt or tried your hand at making one at home, each piece was unique. The vibrant swirls of color captured the carefree and expressive spirit of the 1970s. Tie-dye was more than just a trend. It was a reflection of the era's embrace of freedom, peace, and self-expression. You couldn't go to a concert, a festival, or even the local park without spotting someone rocking a bold, colorful pattern. It was a wearable piece of art. There was nothing quite like the thrill of playing a pinball machine. You'd walk into an arcade or diner, drop in a coin, and immediately be drawn into the flashing lights and buzzing sounds. Every flip of the paddles was a chance to keep the ball in play just a little longer, chasing that elusive high score. And if you were really good, you'd have a crowd of friends cheering you on. Pinball wasn't just a game, it was a test of skill and focus, and mastering it felt like an accomplishment. For many, it was the heart of the arcade experience. Remember the days when payphones were a common sight on every street corner? If you needed to make a call, you'd scramble for some change, find a phone booth, and dial away. It wasn't just a convenience, it was part of life. No cell phones, no texting. Payphones were your lifeline when you were out and about, or maybe just calling your friends to figure out what time the movie started. They were a regular part of the landscape and, in a way, gave you a sense of connection when you needed it most. For anyone in the 70s, the CB radio was more than just a communication tool. It was a social lifeline. "Breaker, breaker, what's your 20?" This phrase became part of the vernacular as drivers across the country used their radios to talk, joke, or even warn each other about traffic ahead. It wasn't just truckers using CB radios. Everyone had one in their car or home, creating a community of voices over the airwaves. The freedom to talk to strangers and form connections made CB radios a symbol of both independence and camaraderie.
Star Wars, a billion years in the making.
In 1977, Star Wars wasn't just a movie, it was a cultural phenomenon that changed cinema forever. With John Williams' iconic score, lightsabers, and unforgettable characters like Darth Vader, Luke Skywalker, and Princess Leia, audiences were transported to a galaxy far, far away. Beyond theaters, it sparked action figures, lunchboxes, and endless playground adventures, defining the late 70s for an entire generation. In the 70s, record stores were more than just places to buy music. They were cultural hubs. People would wander through aisles filled with vinyl, flipping through album covers, finding new artists, or revisiting their favorites. It wasn't about streaming or digital downloads. Everything was tangible, and the thrill of finding that rare album you had been searching for was like discovering buried treasure. Record stores were where music came alive, and where countless memories of browsing, chatting with store clerks, and picking the perfect album were made. If you grew up in the 70s, you probably remember adjusting the rabbit ears on your TV, trying to get a clear picture. Antennas were a must-have, and the struggle to find the perfect position for them became a rite of passage. Whether you were trying to get the best reception for your favorite show or trying to improve the fuzzy picture, it felt like a small victory when you finally got the channels to come in clear. It's funny to think about now, but in those days, getting the TV just right could be as thrilling as watching the show itself. Before the days of remote controls, changing the channel meant getting up and manually turning the dial. There was no skipping through channels with a click of a button. You had to physically get up, walk over to the TV, and turn the knob. It's hard to imagine now, but that simple task was part of the daily routine. And when you finally found the channel you wanted, it felt like a small triumph. Back then, the remote was something you had to earn. Whether it was getting the remote control for your parents' TV or simply mastering the fine art of channel flipping. There was a time before the internet, before smartphones took over our lives, and it wasn't as bad as we sometimes think. Sure, we didn't have instant access to information or the constant connection to social media, but we had something that's often forgotten today: real, face-to-face interaction. People went out to see each other, played outside, and enjoyed simple pleasures like a walk in the park or a chat on the porch. Life was less distracted, and we had to be more creative with how we spent our time. It wasn't perfect, but it was its own kind of freedom.
Picked up your new Radio Shack catalog yet? It's free at your nearby Radio Shack and
Radio Shack was the go-to store for all things electronics in the 70s. Whether you were looking for a new pair of headphones, a portable radio, or even parts to build your own gadgets, Radio Shack had it all. It was a place where technology enthusiasts could geek out, and it became a part of everyday life for many. Kids and adults alike would visit to browse the latest gadgets and marvel at the growing world of electronics. Mood rings were all the rage in the 70s, and they still bring a smile to anyone who remembers them. These rings were filled with thermotropic liquid that changed color based on your body temperature, supposedly reflecting your mood. They were a fun, quirky trend, and you could find them everywhere, from jewelry stores to flea markets. Whether the ring turned blue for calm or red for excited, they were a playful way to connect with your emotions and the perfect conversation starter. Mood rings were an accessory and a trend, adding a dash of color to your life, just as the 70s did. In the 1970s, nothing screamed cool kid like cruising the neighborhood on a banana seat bike. These brightly colored bikes with their long, cushioned seats and high-rise handlebars were the ultimate ride for every kid. They were perfect for popping wheelies, racing your friends, or just gliding around the block pretending you were Evel Knievel. The banana seat made it easy to double up with a friend, or sneak your little brother along for the ride. The 70s weren't just about fashion and music, they were also a time of significant social change. The environmental movement gained momentum with Earth Day becoming a major event, and people began to realize the importance of taking care of the planet. At the same time, the civil rights movement continued to grow, with major strides being made toward equality. These movements shaped the way people thought, acted, and voted, and they laid the foundation for the social progress we continue to build on today. For those who lived through it, the 70s were a time of awakening, a time when activism and awareness took center stage. Thanks for watching and taking a trip back to those unforgettable times. I'd love to hear your memories. Drop them in the comments. Who knows, maybe your stories will inspire a part 2. On my channel, you'll find plenty more videos filled with memories from those golden days. Take a look around and relive those memories.